Let's go. It's working. I did it. Brian, cut this part out because I just want to celebrate that I did it correctly.
Keep it in.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our tens of 20 listeners. I have some hot takes for this episode today. Before we get to all that, my name is Maddie Portland. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Hayley Carpick. Hayley, how are you? How's Philly?
Good. You just dove right in the deep end.
We're gonna lose some more listeners today.
Yeah. What do you have to say? Make hot takes on? Whatever. We'll get there. You almost went into an intro and then you stopped introing, but you got back on the intro. But it's March. It's what's there to complain about? And apparently a lot. As you said, you've got some hot takes, but
I do.
Yeah, what's good in your world? Your hair looks darker. Is it darker?
I did get a haircut.
Okay, maybe that's it.
Not gotten it colored yet. That might be that. I did get a light bulb replaced.
Maybe it's that.
It could be the studio lighting.
Yeah. What else was good?
St. Patrick's Day just finished up.
I was gonna say looked like you were having a good time. I got a unsolicited afternoon selfie. Would be a stretch of a term. You sent a picture of yourself. I don't even. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, it was upside down, and it wasn't even. I don't even know what I would call it in terms of the angle. I'm gonna pull it up and see because now I have to. Yeah, upside down and just blurry, but just your eyes and a little bit of your nose.
Yep, good times were had by all. Brian and I went to a St. Patrick's Day party that was actually an engagement party.
Oh, a twofer.
Yes, we did that.
Was it a St. Patrick's Day themed engagement party, or was it
correct?
So it was intentional.
Yes. Two very pale people came together
as
one.
Are
now engaged.
I feel like that's something you could do. You would do if you would have happened to know you were getting engaged, and instead of having a party thrust upon you as what did happen back in 2022, I could have seen you doing something if the timing lined up similar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was a little jealous. The photos came out super cute, and I was like, oh.
The pictures from the pictures from your engagement party were great.
No, they were. They absolutely were. I was just saying, it's the one time a year where my,
green's a good color on you.
Yeah, it's my time to shine, and it only happens.
That's true. Literally, it's only desirable one day a year.
Exactly. But no, it was cool. We were back in Chicago for the week. Oh, my I won't say which one because he'll get irritated, but one of my brothers has a serious girlfriend, and I got to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge fan.
Yeah, we'll leave that up to our tens of listeners to deduce.
Decipher who. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but no, Brian and I are
you excited?
Are shook that
you didn't think he had it in him?
Great of a person has decided to date someone in my family. No, I'm kidding.
Wait.
Oh man, I just almost said his name. I definitely said it.
No, you didn't. Also, it's okay, I'm sorry. Our tens of listeners know you have two brothers, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious which one of them is in that phase of life.
That's true. That's a good point.
No offense to the other one. He seems to be having a great time.
He was just in Mexico, the other one.
Yeah, I don't think this other brother is
he had sun poisoning all over his body.
Because people like him were meant to be in Chicago during this time of year, not near the Gulf of Mexico / America.
Yeah, the equator did that to us. But anyway, that was my wrap up.
That's wild. So you met your brother's significant other. I too met my brother's. Well, not for the first time, but spent an extended period of time with my brother's girlfriend.
How was it?
It was great. She's lovely. I mean, I knew that going in, but I was in the Bahamas. I was in Exuma for a week.
Well, not me. That's fine.
Well, it's fine. I mean, you were in Chicago.
No, the
for St.
listeners
Patrick's.
like when you do that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wore so much sunscreen. I think I went through like 4 bottles of sunscreen, like no joke. I don't think I got tan at all. I think I got like a few freckles, but that is what I would call a win for somebody of my complexion going to somewhere of that location.
Were you like chilling by a pool or a beach the whole time?
Yeah, we had
hike, surf, I don't know, whatever.
Exuma was like a deserted island. Like
really?
Yeah, it was like, I mean, there's a few grocery stores and there are people, but like everything closes at like 7 p.m. It's like, and it's a desert island, literally. And I mean, it's gorgeous. We were just right on the beach and literally just hung out and like we went on a couple boat tours, snorkeled.
Did you see a shark?
No, but I was like waiting for it. But I asked the guy, we went on this like small boat tour, and he was like, the sharks don't really like the shallow waters of the Bahamas. He was like, there's certain areas where it drops off and there's a lot of sharks, but in the shallow areas, he's like, they know it's not worth their while to go into the shallow areas, so they just stay out. And so I was like, I feel relieved because Bahama is Spanish for shallow water, and everywhere we were was like so shallow. One time we were snorkeling and I was like, this feels sharky, but yeah, I didn't see anything.
Oh, good.
I don't really want to see a shark. I'm good. I have seen a shark.
Yeah, no, I
in Hawaii, and it was scary.
I don't mess with oceans for that exact reason.
Yeah, I mess with oceans, but I will say like I do so with a decent amount of fear.
Yeah, nope. I don't know.
I love the ocean.
So I'm out. I'm out.
You're not even getting into water?
I go ankle deep.
What? Like you would go to the ocean and not swim in the ocean?
No.
That's, I mean, I guess I think about it, it's not surprised.
I have snorkeled once in my life because of alcohol. I was extremely drunk and
they handed you a snorkel and you said, hell yeah?
Yeah. Just threw caution to the wind.
Wow. I love the ocean.
I've never,
do you like lakes? Do you have any issue with lakes?
Yeah, no, I don't mess with it. Have you seen river monsters?
Nope. No, I mean, I know the premise. I know there's things in them.
They look worse than sharks. They're like uglier, more dinosaur-like versions of sharks.
I mean, yeah. Sure, I grew up on a disgusting river, and this kid on my swim team, he would go hillbilly hand fishing after practice. He'd go and just go, he'd be like, I'm going to go hand fishing later. And he would just like show us pictures of like these giant things that were fish, but they kind of were questionable, looked more like aliens. But yeah, none of that really concerns me.
Question mark, like when people.
Well, hey everybody, it's just Hayley. We lost Maddie, and maybe it's my internet. I'm always like super self-conscious of my internet. Maybe this is my own personal weakness, but like whenever I'm in a call and I have Teams issues, I'm like, oh, it's definitely me. So I'm like a little worried that it's my internet, but maybe it's not because she left. Maybe I need to have more confidence in my internet. Okay, my bars are good. Texted her. Oh, she's back.
It literally just said something went wrong, and I said you're correct.
Yeah, well, I just talked to myself for a few minutes, so no worries.
That'll be kind of fun.
Keep it in.
Anyway, but
you can hear me talk about my insecurity of my own internet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I always think it's me. Whenever there's an internet issue. I should talk to my therapist about this.
I was going to say, are there any, can we...
Like, should I dig deeper? Like, why...
Correlations?
Yeah. I'm like, why is it always me? And you know what? It is always me.
I was going to say, that's
maybe
not this type of podcast, though, so...
Okay, whatever we were talking about, hillbilly hand fishing, you don't fuck with the ocean. But the crux of it is we both met our brothers' significant others, and they've made good selections, and we should be proud of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was thrilled.
Yeah. Like, exceeded expectations?
Yes, totally.
Oh. Okay, I know which brother this is. We'll leave it a mystery to our listeners. I don't think that's surprising. I feel like he'd pull a nice lady.
Well,
He's got a good job. He's smart. He's,
Yeah, but like the person that would be needed to be with would need to have such
he's
a balance.
so insufferable.
No, obviously I'm saying this as a sibling.
Yes, I see what you're saying. You're
separate, like, I'm sure separate from family and I will say even now in his age, well, they're both in their 20s, so I'm not giving anything away. Wink, wink. They are both lovely now, and actually, I quite enjoy their company. We've all grown up, including myself. But yeah, no,
thank God.
Yeah, choose. But no, I was shocked. Because I was expecting like us to get along, but I think when I in my head, when I think of like 20 years from now, I always envisioned me getting more along with the other brothers,
significant other. Yeah.
Like I figured we'd be like closer to the same wavelength, but no,
you guys are vibing.
Lovely. Yeah, we were totally vibing. It was really fun.
Well, that's good. That's what we like to hear.
We're ordered the same thing for lunch. So in that moment, I felt cool. I don't know.
She was probably like, can I change my order?
Yeah.
Like I'm picturing what you'd order for lunch. And I know it would have some like specification. Like, can I have the croutons blackened instead of like something weird?
I did order sweet potato fries.
Okay, that is kind of
chips. Yeah.
Yeah, you just a big sweet potato fry fan.
Huge.
Okay. Whenever people, that makes me feel better. Whenever people order sweet potato fries for like health reasons, I'm like, get the fuck out. They're all fries. Relax.
Yeah. No.
If you genuinely like them better, I won't roast you for that. So okay. Respect. I like a sweet potato fry. Do I like it better than a regular fry? I don't think so, but.
Depends on the place.
For sure. Some places have really good sweet potato fries.
Yeah.
And I actually
really
take it back.
Fries. Maybe and then, like the flip is also true.
Yeah. Maybe sweet potato fries have more nutritional value, but we're not going to call either of them healthy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, when you throw it in a ton of grease, I don't know if you can call any of it
delicious. Yeah.
Healthy.
Did I have a sweet potato fry? Now that sounds kind of good. I've already brushed my teeth.
Well, that's out of the question now.
Yep. Jaw is locked. So, well, that's exciting. That's a good little catch up, I would say.
Yeah.
And now you're back in Ohio.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, I can't wait for our listeners to comment that we just spent 13 minutes talking about oceans, rivers, and sweet potato fries. And they're going to be like, get to the content.
I feel like we only spent like 3 minutes on those topics and like 2 minutes of me on my soliloquy when you had your internet issue, because it's not my problem. And then like we got into some like good content. Like our hardcore listeners are going to be thrilled to listen to us talk about our family relations. So I think that was fine.
Yeah, okay, fine. Insider scoop.
We're like a little rusty, so like what do we expect? It's 8 p.m.
Yeah, you're right. It's late for
me.
For us in our age.
Well,
can I jump into my hot takes now?
100%. Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat. Yeah.
Do you have a glass of water nearby?
Yeah, I'm gonna like spit it out. I gave Stanley. Actually, we talked about this in another episode.
Yep.
Okay, I just took a sip.
Okay. First hot take. I'm gonna start off mild and get kind of like spicier from there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This March Madness.
Are you gonna say it sucks?
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Well, yeah, there like haven't been any upsets.
It's not ideal.
You know, it was the first time that the top 4 seeds 1 through 4 went undefeated for the first time since like early 2000s. I want to say. You know, okay. My hot take is that like I'm kind of fine with it. I've enjoyed the predictability to date. Like the upsets were McNeese on Clemson, and then or the big upsets. I would say McNeese on Clemson was really the only one, and that was a 12-5. And then
Colorado State was favored,
but they were
even though they were the later seed.
That was 10-7.
Arkansas, St. John's, but
Arkansas St. John
close.
Well, but I mean, in terms of the seed line, like that's a 10-2 upset. And St. John's was like, on a lot of people's brackets, but that was a second round game. Like I think you didn't see any first round upsets outside of Clemson McNeese. Is that it? Is that McNeese? If Purdue played this, I think it's McNeese. Like it was.
I mean, Alabama almost went down, so that was almost super exciting.
Were there any close? I'm trying to
Alabama.
Remember.
I feel like the score was closer than its final score is 90-81. The score was a lot closer until they started shooting free throws, and then it was deceiving. Other close first round games, Michigan UCSD, but everybody kind of talked that up as like going to be a good game regardless of the seed line. Creighton Louisville got upset in Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, again, that's an 8-9 game, so nothing crazy, and Creighton's good. Texas A&M and Yale was close. But really, you're right there. I mean, New Mexico beat Marquette. Marquette beat New Mexico. New Mexico beat Marquette. Saddest storyline for men's March Madness: Wisconsin losing to BYU.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I always forget you're like an adopted Badger fan. BYU is really good. It is a talented team. Also, you have to remember.
But I've listened to some more podcasts recently about Mormons, and there's some hot takes to be had there as well, folks.
For sure.
I'm going to leave it at that. This is not a religious.
I'm going to tell you,
podcast, but they are.
BYU had a nice little advantage playing in Denver. Provo sits at 4,700 feet. Denver is a little over 5. So
are you saying it's closer to Jesus?
No, they don't have altitude. They didn't have to adjust to the altitude of Denver. Why did you think that was? My hot take is that was like not the least funny joke that you've laughed that hard. I've ever said that you've laughed that hard at. I was trying to make a physiological.
I thought you were like, they're in the mountains, so they're closer to heaven.
No, I'm just saying that Wisconsin had to adjust to the altitude, and BYU came from altitude and played in altitude. So
no, that's a lot more.
Yeah, like you don't want to play in Denver. It's like not a great pick if it's one of those seeds. But I mean, they're closer to Jesus or to God too, I guess. If you think about it that way, depends on which direction you think God is. I think he's underground, so they're further. That must have been hard for you. Wisconsin, kind of had a tough end to the season.
Yeah, this part, how ugly their head coach's suit was. That was, oh my gosh. So
I still like that a lot of coaches don't wear suits anymore. They're like still going casual. I like that.
And this suit was gross. It was not
the suit he wore in the BYU game.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Was it what were we talking, like checkered? Like what made it ugly? Was it red?
It was an ugly colored red. There was some checkering in it, but you couldn't tell really what it was because all the colors just kind of mushed together like an ugly. When you make a smoothie at home,
and
it turns out that kind of brown color instead of a red color because you mix a ton of veggies and fruits together. That's what the smoothie looked like.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's gross. I hope the suit that you just got fitted for doesn't look like that.
No.
I don't like a colorful suit. I love a navy suit, but I don't really like I like a gray suit.
That's what I got for my suit.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, maybe. That sucks for you. But
that wasn't a hot take. I think everyone would look at that suit and agree with me. That was disgusting.
And I think a lot of people would agree also that Wisconsin losing wasn't a super surprise because BYU is a pretty solid team. So it's a tough one for the Badgers. They lose the Big Ten championship game and they lose in the second round of the tournament. Sucks to suck for our Wisconsin Badgers. The Big Ten went to 8-0 in the first round. So often the Big Ten lays an egg in the tournament, so good for them.
Agreed.
Good for them.
Oh, speaking of the Big Ten,
yeah. Is this your other hot take?
I have a guest for us on this podcast today.
Oh, okay. With
arguably the most exciting part of the tournament for both the men's and the women's. So this could be a good transition to talk about the women's as well. But we have with us a picture, if you're watching on video, of who knows how to pronounce that, but
the Terrapin?
No, his name.
Oh.
Testudo?
Testudo. I just know he's the Terrapin.
Which is an anthropomorphic turtle.
Yeah.
And that is the Maryland mascot.
Now, to caveat, I'm going to ask you, do you know what they're calling the starting five of Maryland right now?
Tortoises?
No, okay. The fact that you brought this up, and I'm curious where you were going with this, but I'm going to caveat with a different thing, that Maryland starting five, they're calling the Crab Five. And this is going to throw you off because I don't think you're going to get this. So the Maryland mascot is a terrapin, but do you know what's on the flag of Maryland? Like, what's Maryland's biggest thing? Crabs.
Right.
Yeah, and they're calling their the Fab Five.
Yeah.
They're calling their starting five the Crab Five.
Oh, so they've just kicked this poor turtle to the curb.
No, I mean, they're still the Terrapins, but they're calling them the Crab Five because it's a nice little play on words. And Maryland has a very strong starting five and not a lot of other good people after their starting five, but they have a very good starting five. And they call them the Crab Five, and I think that's amazing. That's all I wanted to say. I love the Crab Five, just the name, the Crab Five. And they beat Colorado State in that thriller.
I remember that Purdue Pete has been sometimes called the scariest mascot in the Big Ten.
Do you think Testudo?
I'm curious why this guy doesn't get a mention, because this is not
because he's a turtle.
It's not a looker.
Yeah, I would agree. He is not a looker. But I like to ditch the turtle when I'm thinking about Maryland and just talk about the Crab Five.
Okay. All right. Well,
because I like the Crab Five. But okay, now what's your keep going on your turtle thing.
Well, now Testudo, you're out. Crabs are in, but
Crab Five. Tell me that's not funny. I'm obsessed with the Crab Five. I think it's so funny.
So, but I think crabs are insects, and I don't like them either.
I mean, yeah, they're basically water spiders.
Oh, and I hate spiders. So I don't love that as like a person, but
do you like eating crab?
Yes.
Okay. Let's think about it that way then.
Okay. Well, then it rules.
Then you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
He's back.
No, the game winner was amazing. And then I don't know if you're following the women's.
Did he travel?
But does the turtle travel? Oh yeah.
No, I know the turtle travels. Did you think he traveled in that last second shot?
Oh. Yeah. I do. But I also think you don't call, like,
I agree.
The ref doesn't end a game, like,
Yeah, no, I don't think that'd be a crazy call. But yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't notice it the first time I watched it because I never played basketball, nor do I know that much about basketball. But when I watched it again, I was like, yeah, maybe.
It's so easy to point that out on a look back,
hindsight's 2020. Yeah,
the refs are watching the shot clock. They're watching other players. They're looking for a foul. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. It's not going to get called ever, or very rarely at that point in time. Okay,
and that was you just stole one of my other hot takes, but my hot take was that I do think that he traveled, and I don't care, not one iota.
Oh, okay. So you're just a fan of the Crab Five. I felt a little bad for Colorado State.
I'm a fan of game-winning shots, like.
Yeah, especially games you don't really care about. Yeah, and it was like a nice, like, high backboard little thing. I didn't think he was. I mean, they had like 3.something seconds, and he executed. You don't often. I mean, you do see that, but like, just some. I think a lot of times they kind of crumble. So proud of them proud of the Crab Five.
Agreed.
Okay, what's your caveat to the women's tournament?
That it was definitely more exciting than the men's, and mainly because of Maryland, their game. And I love that they beat Alabama. I love when an SEC team loses. It just brings me so much joy.
She's a hater.
And but then so I'm on this like high, right? Because like that game was incredible and amazing. And I go and I pick up dinner for Brian and I, and then I sit down, I turn my TV back on, and Juju Watkins has a season-ending injury.
I was just about to ask you.
And then I was just
did she tear her ACL?
I don't know if they've confirmed. I haven't looked at the news recently, but they
didn't look. I mean, I just saw her.
It's a knee injury that is season ending. So my guess is ACL, MCL, else like take your pick, CL.
Yeah, she definitely didn't look good. Whenever they can't like put any weight on it after, I was like, oh, she's unwell. Yeah. Did USC? They won that game. Do you think that well, obviously it's going to hurt them going forward in the tournament. Does it kill them?
Yes. Absolutely.
Like, do you think they're going to lose their next game?
I think they could. I'll
tell you who they're playing next.
I think with Juju out,
Kansas State, they play the 1-5 game. That's tough. I thought the 1-5 game was hard.
Yeah, so I mean, Kansas State's been playing good basketball. I think they'll survive Kansas State given the shooting and the depth they have on their team. But I feel like Juju being out pretty much solidifies that this is South Carolina or UConn's tournament to lose.
Who do you have now? Who do you think is going to be in the women's Final Four now? Who makes it out of this weekend?
So I had USC winning it all because Juju's been playing unreal. But now I think it'll likely be. I don't even have the bracket pulled up, but I think LSU made a statement with their most recent win. And I think that's legitimized them a bit more. Mm-hmm. They weren't looking great without Angel Reese because they take a ton of shots and miss a ton of shots. But now it looks like their shots are starting to fall. So that could be something to watch. But I think it's I don't even want to think of a Final Four. I just want to think of a winner. And it's going to be UConn or South Carolina, in my opinion.
Wow, no thoughts on UCLA?
No, I think that their center is amazing, but I think that unfortunately, with the current way that women's basketball is set up, that I and how UConn and South Carolina are set up, you can't win a game shooting twos. So it doesn't matter if she drops. She can drop 40 or 50. If UConn drops 70 or 90, it doesn't, it doesn't matter. So
I see what you're saying. There's conflicting styles of play that.
Right.
Yeah. 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 I saw that. Yeah. That was a tough, very tough injury and yeah, I said that does not look good.
Which brings me to my hottest take. I'm like,
it gets hotter.
I'm going, well, this
hotter
is
than the turtle.
This is probably the spiciest one, but I'm like, no, obviously I'm going to finish watching the men's and the women's tournament because what else am I going to do? But it's kind of soured now on me. Like I'm like,
don't let it reframe it. You've got a lot of good basketball to watch.
Like my therapist, Hayley.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I think the tournament, it never fails to surprise. I think it's, I think just have an open mind about it. I think it's going to be more exciting than you think. And just because maybe some of your favorite gals and guys are out, reframe it. Have an open mind for surprise. Don't say, this is so boring. Say, I can't wait to see what happens. Because that's how I feel. I think both the men's and the women's tournament, there's good matchups and there's something's going to surprise us and something's going to come out of left field because it's the second weekend of the tournament and there's, higher teams playing higher quality teams playing higher quality teams. Like, I think you'll be surprised because you know what? Yeah. Do we what?
Do we have hope
For Purdue?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play in Indianapolis. Absolutely. Purdue like had the best draw in the NCAA tournament out of any whole team out there. And that's my hot take. And it's not hot. How they got a 4 seed was insane to me. They did not deserve a 4 seed. And they got the 4 seed in Houston's bracket, and Houston's really talented. I'm not saying that, but I think Houston is probably the weaker, if not the weakest, of the 1 seeds. So you get into the best, and you played the Sweet 16 in Indianapolis. So, I mean, will Purdue win on Friday night at 10 frickin' p.m.? Way too late for my liking. I don't know if they will, but I think they have the best shot as possible because they're playing in Indianapolis. And, I lost you again. Okay, you're back.
Yes, I'm back. And
I was saying Purdue has a chance. I was saying that Purdue, out of the 4 teams in Indianapolis that are playing to make it to the Final Four, they are by far the worst team. But they have a chance.
I'm going to go and watch Purdue because I haven't watched them yet because my like superstition of like when I watch them it F's it up.
Yeah, which is why you went to the Final Four last year in person.
It was a one-time opportunity. Don't yell at me. I'm not going this year, so this year they'll probably win it. You
didn't watch any of their opening first year.
No, that's what I'm gonna do tonight while I'm on my Peloton.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's so fun because I'm like, I know what's going to happen. And I love not being surprised. And not that any of the games were very close, but like...
No, I mean, the game against High Point, you're going to be like annoyed because they don't shoot the ball well, especially in the first half. The game against McNeese, yeah, they had a lull in the second half. They looked really good in the first half, but they were really organized, and I think that they were ready to play.
Do we have a 7-footer back? Is he not injured anymore?
No, he's the 1 7-footer that started. They do have a 7-footer, Will Berg, who has been playing. They have a better 7-footer.
That's still injured.
Purdue next year is going to be quite good because they're going to get this kid back who broke his leg in maybe like November, December time period.
Yeah, I remember. I know they were both injured though for a little bit, weren't they?
No, they just didn't play Berg very much. It just kind of depends on what.
I thought Berg got injured at the beginning of the year.
He may have gotten like a small hiccup, but nothing major.
But he wasn't. Okay.
He just didn't. They hadn't played him that much, but he played pretty well in the second game. No, it'll be interesting to see how Matt.
Are we retaining everyone else too for next year, or are they hard to say with NIL? I know, but
very
like,
hard to say.
I mean, eligibility wise,
Braden Smith is arguably the best point guard in the country.
Yeah, it is insane how like good he is, like how much he has improved in, I would say,
he was very good.
Span.
Yeah, and he was really good last year.
Yeah, but like
for
now,
sure.
like,
well, he has to play a very different role this year.
He looks like what I like. Obviously, like people disagree with me and call maybe this is a crazy take. I think he looks like he could hang in the NBA. Right.
Yeah, I don't watch enough in the NBA, nor do I understand the NBA enough to know.
I think he has enough handles that he would not make a fool out of himself there.
He's just very small.
Yeah, which is the biggest problem.
Yeah, no, but I think Purdue is paying him a lot of money right now. It's tough to say. I mean, you just never know these days. If somebody comes out of the woodwork and says, I'm going to give you $7 million to come to here, I think that's, if you're a 20, it's just hard. It's hard, especially if you're a 22-year-old and they're telling you have no chance of playing in the NBA. It's like, it really depends. And I'm not saying
take the money while you can.
And I'm not saying Purdue wouldn't find a way to counter that.
Right.
I think they would. I do.
Here's a good question for you. Should NIL should they have salary caps for students?
They will starting next year. They have contracts starting next year. Yeah, next year will change NIL significantly because there's some new rules that I don't want to speak to because I don't know well enough, but there's going to be a lot of change in NIL.
I will look into them because I'm very interested in it. Because I don't think
it's a salary cap, but it is. No, it is a salary cap. I think there are some salary limitations to it, and it does provide the opportunity for you to contract, and I could be totally wrong on this, so we'll see. We'll do a follow-up episode on this, but I think it also allows you the opportunity to contract players. Currently there's no contracts, so you could, I mean, Exhibit A is Purdue football. Last year you had all these they're not obligated, there's no obligation for them to play, right? Like you could put, I think going forward, you say you're going to get paid $250,000, but you have to play, if you're a football player, 9 games.
Yeah, no, sorry, I meant like skip around on like the sideline. Like
yes.
Not every player in the world.
And I could be totally wrong with this, but I do know next year there are changes to NIL that deal with money and yada yada. I'm probably wrong. We'll fact check this at some point. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's hard. It's like I want to say like a player like Braden Smith, oh, he's loyal to Purdue, he's an Indiana guy, but like I don't know if you can say that anymore. I also don't know him, or you can't, like, it's really hard to speak to like loyalty these days. But he's a junior. I mean, Trey Kaufman-Renn Jr., Camden Heide, redshirt junior. I mean, so they're returning basically everybody outside of Caleb First, which is pretty solid. On paper, returning everybody. So Purdue should be really good next year. Does Purdue beat Houston? I'm not going to say yes, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they have the best. They're in the position to potentially be as successful as possible. As in, you're playing in Indianapolis. We'll see, but Houston's just really physical, very talented, very athletic, and Purdue's got a lot. I mean, they're just gonna have to play like an amazing game, which is like what you have to do when you're the 4 seed and you're playing the 1 seed in a tournament. Like, you got to show up and show out. Yeah. So I'm curious. I mean, that's
kind of every game now, right? Like, pretty much moving forward,
especially when you're not
the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, especially when you're not like the Purdue that was last year, when you could have
just thrown
the ball to Edie and see, like, they're gonna have to shoot the ball really well, and Braden Smith's gonna have to play like lights out. He turned the ball over a ton during the game against McNeese, so again, to not a big deal, but so it'll be interesting to see. I'm trying to look right now in the men's bracket, like what other big Auburn, Michigan. Wait. Auburn, Michigan, I think will be an interesting game. Maryland, our Crab 5. I'm into the Crab 5.
Ooh, Florida.
Florida's I think Florida's really good. Another really good name.
That's where Purdue should be right now. Maryland should be playing Houston.
Well, Purdue should have been the 5 that Michigan was.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, good call. But
I mean, Purdue should have been a 4.
Houston and not Florida or Auburn.
Yeah, and again, so like Purdue gets like literally, like, I was watching this and I was like, I kind of heard tossed around like where Purdue could end up, like watching the selection show, and they don't go, and I'm like, man, where are they gonna go? And then they say, and I was like, Florida. I was like, man, that's as lucky as you can get to be a 4, to be in that region, to come to Indianapolis.
Yeah, now we're getting to go to Indy too.
But Indy's gonna be insane, dude. In the other 2 teams in Indianapolis, so it's Purdue, Houston, the late game, the 10 p.m. The game before that is Tennessee, Kentucky, and they hate each other. That's one of the best rivalries.
And that's not far.
No, yeah, like, I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be
for
insane.
Sure. No, it's gonna be actually insane in Indy, and
there are a lot of Kentucky, like, because obviously, like,
I mean,
it's right where, since so like there's like there's University of Kentucky fans everywhere.
I mean, you're not even very far from the University of Kentucky. You're probably like an hour drive. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, and they travel well. It's gonna be rocking in Indy, and that game, I think that game, Kentucky Tennessee, is going to be a really good game. And they hate each other. So yeah, that could be interesting. That could get
rowdy.
That could get ugly. And then Purdue plays at 10 p.m. Good God. What? That's
I'm like,
so
are there
late.
going to be any fans there for that game?
Yeah,
Like after
I mean,
after the Kentucky Tennessee madness, I could just see everyone like clearing out.
No, they're all
going
gonna
to go home.
I want them to all stay and cheer for Purdue because they don't want to play Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're gonna
but
be
like, that is a long day for University.
They're
of
staying
Kentucky
the
and
whole
Tennessee
week.
Fans,
They're hardcore fans. They've got a hotel block.
Might get that Celsius.
Yeah, they're gonna be shotgunning it. No, I think that's gonna be a good game. I'm looking around to other games. Duke, Arizona. Yeah, it's like if you look at the games, you're right. Like you said, your hot take to start the show, a lot of boring. It's exactly like all the matchups, not all of them, but it's like 1-4, 1-4, 2, it's kind of who you expected to be there. But again, I just implore you to have an open mind in this scenario. It's gonna excite you, both the men's and the women's tournament. You're gonna find a new favorite player on both sides. You're gonna get over Juju, and you're gonna find a new player on UNC's team, and you're gonna love them, and they're gonna capture your imagination.
I love this optimism.
Yeah,
that you have. This is
you don't see it too often.
Yeah, no, especially like, man, I caught you on and it's Tuesday only. So we've had 2 full work days and you're full of this optimism.
Who is she?
New year, new Hayley.
Yeah, hardly. But I do think it's
Must
the
be
tournament
Pilates.
always. Yeah, I am in my Pilates princess era, but I've always been in my Pilates princess era. So
Callard tried a Pilates class too, or I don't even think tried. I think she's done like several of them.
Yeah, I've been doing solid core.
I want to do one, but I don't want to be bad at it.
You're gonna be bad at it. It's a lot of unnatural body. I literally have somebody texting me right now because I go to solid core, and I've been doing solid core for like a little over a year now, and I just had somebody text me, and they're like literally sent me paragraphs like, why do I feel so uncoordinated at Pilates? And I'm like, well, it's because it's not movements you're used to, but it is a killer workout. It doesn't, like, your heart rate's not spiking, but you are in deep physical pain for like days. But it's lovely. I mean, every Monday and Thursday morning, solid core before work, 5:30.
That's the other thing.
Check it out.
I'm so bad at getting up early. I'm not a morning person.
I jump out of bed, run to the solid core that's like a 10-minute walk from my apartment. I wear my glasses. I don't even put on contacts. They see me at my worst. And I stare off into space until the class starts, and then I get into plank, and then after I'm like so full of life, and then by like 11 a.m. I do want to die because I'm so tired. But then I just like have another 3 coffees. It's super healthy.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, I mean,
yeah,
you're on your
Peloton
lifestyle.
You're on your Peloton grind. The Peloton's nice. You can do whenever you want.
Yeah, no,
the on-demand is just lovely.
And I've found like a perfect median because I like the classes with like the instructors, but like minimally. So now I've found scenic rides, but like
scenic rides are peaceful.
They still give you the like,
they still tell you like
cadence and resistance to get at, so that like you can have a good workout.
You don't like to get yelled at by a person on a bike to tell you to stand up, sit down, fight. Yeah. No. Yeah, the scenic rides are like, if you feel like it, adjust your cadence to 40 to 50.
And that's all I need, because I have the leaderboard up, and I'm like, I'm not about to let some 65-year-old beat me.
I think it's so funny
I don't need someone to yell at me. I have arguably too much motivation and competitiveness to be like,
I think
pedal
it's so
harder.
funny.
And I'm like, dude, I am pedaling so hard right now. You like, you don't even know. You're not even here.
It's so funny that you like the leaderboard, but don't do like the instructor rides where like the leaderboard is like popping. We're like on these scenic rides, it feels like it would just be like grandmas and grandpas that you're beating, which is maybe what you're doing.
Possibly, but like still very competitive.
Do you ever give people high fives?
I did.
I
We
always,
talked about this as well. Yes,
oh,
all the
okay.
time.
I think that's so insane. I hate when people give me a high five. I'm like, who
No,
are you?
I think it's also a competitive
Like,
flex though to finish third and then high five people. It's like, oh yeah, good try.
you love shoving it down Marv's throat.
Yeah.
Marv, who just got his hip replaced 2 months ago.
Hell yeah.
He's 73. His grandkids are coming to town next week, but he's got to get it in his Peloton, right?
No, if I do the instructor classes though, I just turn the volume all the way down and then I turn my own playlist on.
That's so funny to me. That's like very counterintuitive, but it also is very on brand for you. So I get it. I totally get it. I can see you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a video of you probably haven't done a Cody Rigsby ride. Do you know who Cody is?
No, I've only done the British man.
Okay, maybe you would. I don't know if you'd like Cody. I love him. Like, he's one of my favorite instructors. He's super gay, loves it, and he's just got great commentary. You don't need to do one of his rides, but I am going to send you the video of him doing his bracket. This year, and you'll just get his vibe, and it's just funny. So I'll send that to you.
All right. Well,
maybe you should maybe you could take one of his rides because they are just like he just says the craziest things, and it's pretty funny. So
okay, I love how we've ended this on a little cliffhanger. Audience, comment below. Will I do a Cody ride?
Should she do a Cody ride tonight?
Yes or no?
He does. He has a lot of good. He has a lot of good 30-minute rides. So
okay,
you're looking for a 30-minute.
I know. Now to get on the bike because I've had
So I mean, I'm not saying you have, but his rides are also like chiller in the sense of like they're a good workout, but they're not like insanely like they're achievable. Like they're not like the ones that like you're gonna literally feel like you're gonna die, fall off the bike. They're pretty chill. Like he's not doing anything crazy. Like just like everything is pretty, but his commentary is amazing.
This is coming from someone incredibly athletic, ladies and gentlemen. So for the modern average person, which is me in this discussion, most Peloton rides feel like I'm going to die when I get off of them. So I don't imagine this to be easier.
This one you're at least gonna laugh.
Okay, well that's
maybe good. I don't know. Some people I know don't like him, but I'm just gonna send you on Instagram the video of him doing his bracket, and then just watch that first, and then you can make your decision from there.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I'll
funny.
catch the vibes. I'll process, and then we'll go from there. Exactly.
Lovely. All right. Well,
thank you,
I hope, Brian. Keep in my two soliloquies. They were really good. Where I'm alone all by myself when your internet cut out.
And Brian, if you're listening to this, put some nice soliloquy background music on that as well.
If that's too much work, you don't have to.
I don't think it will be. He's pretty good at silence.
I would say like some introspective music.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, we gotta go. Thank you, everyone. If you're still listening, I doubt it, but if you are, thanks so much. Follow us on Instagram, or don't, because we don't update it a lot. Until next episode.
Until next time.
I've been Maddie. That's been Hayley, and this has been your weekly dose of the Sports Medicine Podcast. Cheers.